What's up, Wargamers? We got a new video for you today, and we're going to talk about the preview of the new Stormcast units from Warhammer Community. So, if you watched over the weekend, we talked about the new edition coming from Age of Sigmar, and we saw a preview video of some of the new Stormcast models from the Sacrosanct Chamber, which is a new chamber of the Stormcast Eternals, and it's bringing about wizards and different magical units, and this goes into what they're considering like the new dynamic magic that's going to be in the new edition of Age of Sigmar. So this will be a departure, and I wanted to cover some of the new units because this is news. They've actually identified the units, shown us a more in-depth preview. So if you watched yesterday's video by chance where we talked about some of the leaks of the new Nighthaunt units, it's basically the same vein where they're breaking down what these new units look like, what a little bit of their backstory is, and a sneak preview of one of the rules of the units. So we'll dive into that. I don't want you guys to forget that we're doing our 500 subscriber giveaway here, so we've still got just shy of 2 weeks left to be able to participate in that, and all you've got to do is like the video and comment below that you want the Steel Phalanx. Those are the guys right back here. That's an Infinity starter set for the Aleph faction, and specifically the Steel Phalanx starter sets. $48 value. All you got to do is comment that you want it down below. Commenting in general is very much welcome, but I want to know that you actually want to participate in that giveaway. And then when we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll be giving away either your choice of a Get Starting box or the Blood and Thunder or No Fear starter set for Age of Sigmar Warhammer 40k. So that'll be your choice as well, so stick around. Once we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll start the giveaway for that. But I want you guys to be motivated. We're looking to hyper grow this channel, and we just crossed over 500 subscribers. So thank you very much, guys. And let's go ahead and dive into what we've got here on the Stormcast Eternals on Warhammer Community website. So this is breaking news today, and if we take a look, we're seeing some of the Griffin Riders, and these guys don't inherently look to be very new. If they're new to you guys, feel free to point those out. The character looks like he may already pre-exist, and same with that unit, so we'll keep scrolling down because that might just be a little bit of backstory on who the Stormcast Eternals are in general. So they are a very easy army. It's like the Space Marines of the Age of Sigmar world. They're your intro set, and hopefully they draw a lot of new players into the game. I think they have. They're very visually appealing to me, being a veteran player when I got into it. So let's take a look at some of the new models that they previewed at Warhammer Fest, and here we go. We're going to kick it off with the Sequitors, and they are rank and file for the Sacrosanct Chamber. So this is like their answer to the regular Liberators. So they call them Sequitors. The other chamber of which the Liberators come from, this is their version of Liberators. So you see they have a shield, they have more robes, which I think goes hand in hand with their enhanced magical abilities across their entire chamber. But it says, like Liberators, these warriors are the line infantry of their respective chamber, but specialize in fighting magical foes like Daemons and Nighthaunt. So this is the good guy answer to the Ethereal Nighthaunt. If you want to counter their basically invulnerable saves that they've got with their ethereal special rules, I bet you these guys have the answer to it. They have a few magic powers on their own too, and each was a mystic, priest, or mage in their former life. So you got to remember, Stormcast Eternals are not a living army. They are the reincarnated souls of good people from their previous life, which is like anti-Nagash. Nagash takes the bad people. He's like the devil, basically, so to speak. And he takes the people who are not accepted into the heaven. So you have the heaven and the hell. That's the Nighthaunts and the Sacrosanct Chamber, or the Stormcast in general. So think of this as the Stormcast Eternal would be like the Ultramarines of Age of Sigmar. These guys coming in might be more like the Dark Angels. They might be more like the Blood Angels. But they're a totally different chamber, which you could consider a totally different chapter. So I think that's one way that we can identify and look at how are these guys similar but different. Yeah, they're wearing the same armor, they're in similar color schemes, but different chambers of these Stormcast Eternals are going to be like likened to a different chapter of Space Marines. So let's just use that terminology or analogy, if you will. Then we're going to look at a different unit called the Evocators. Now these guys look like they're carrying a magic wand, and it says the Evocators are warrior mages. They're hybrids of Stormcast Eternal Paladins, so that's their answer to Paladins in this chamber, and Battle Wizard of the Collegiate Arcanes. So these guys, it looks like this whole chamber is going to have some spells. That could mean that this is going to be a much more expensive factions points-wise to get into. It would be interesting to see how the rules actually break out. and they're armed with sword and staff. The Evocators can enhance the abilities of other warriors of the Sacrosanct Chamber with powerful spells. So these guys are going to be your buffers. They're going to buff up your other units according to this one short paragraph of text. So comment below what you guys think so far of what we're learning about the Sacrosanct Chamber and their distinct abilities. And really, this regular Stormcast Eternals is a more brute force. They're a strength army. This may be more of a finesse army, and only time will tell, of course. Then we've got Castigators. These guys are probably looking familiar to you guys. So Castigators are crossbow-wielding warriors who fire crystalline bombs charged with Dracoth breath to obliterate both conventional and ethereal foes alike. So see, like the Sequitors, they can charge their weapons with lightning when the need arises. So I bet you that's an ability that they'll have to roll to be able to guarantee and get that buff, which will probably, in my own words, reduce or totally remove the ethereal armor save, which is like an invulnerable save for those Nighthaunts. And that's going to make any army that's not prepared to fight against those guys really hurting. And if you remember back to like Warhammer Fantasy and the old days of some of the ethereal units that were in there, you couldn't even hurt some of them unless you had a magical weapon. So this kind of reminisces of that. Although you still would have a chance of hurting them, you would just presumably take away their save. Then we have the Celestar Ballista. So this is like a lightning ballista. And it says the Celestar Ballista is the first ever Stormcast Eternal war machine. So it's like a bolt thrower from the High Elves and Dark Elves, or an organ gun if you were playing, I want to call them squats, but dwarves, right? The Sacrosanct Chamber isn't just made up of mages and mystics, but also engineers, and the Lord-Arcanum was just a hint of what's to come. So maybe quite a bit more war machines, right? We haven't seen even the likes of a chariot or something like that from these guys, but it'll be interesting if they come out with something that'll be like that old Empire, like celestial carriage thing, which I never really liked that model. The Hieroclum, I'm not sure what it was called, but very intricate plastic model and very audacious for Warhammer Fantasy in general. So here's the Lord-Arcanum himself. This is armies from the Sacrosanct Chamber are commanded by Lord-Arcanums. They're veteran magi with a mastery of soulcraft, having overseen the Anvil of Apotheosis, where the souls of dead Stormcast Eternals are reforged to life. The Lord-Arcanums heal their fellow warriors and return them to battle nigh instantly. Many Lord-Arcanums ride celestial beasts into battle. So this makes me think that just like how a necromancer could bring back skeletons and other undead creatures to repair wounds, we're going to see that with some of the other units that we talked about, the one that we previewed yesterday in our video. That they do that for the bad guys, reanimating the dead. In this case, since these Stormcast are dead, it makes sense that they would be able to reanimate them much in a similar fashion. So expect him to be able to heal wounds of units that are around him and possibly even bring back models that have been slain in previous combat phases, so on and so forth. I think this is really the good guy ghosts. So where the other guys are more like Beetlejuice and Freddy Krueger, these guys are going to be more like Patrick Swayze ghosts, and they're probably going to, like, you know, kiss you at night and tuck you into bed and that sort of thing. So the Sacrosanct Chamber sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I guess so. And of course the models are like a step above what the regular, they're not a huge departure, like they're not 100% different, but they're a step above what we saw already with the other Stormcast Eternal army. So here we go. We've got a Knight-Incantor. So this is going to be different. This is rather than like blowing a horn or what have you. Here's the special rules for this character. So the Knight-Incantor is a gifted Stormcaller, able to summon hurricane winds and gales of magical energy. Those who ignite a Knight-Incantor's wrath soon find themselves battling against a living tempest. So we've got a very brave unit with a 3+ save on foot. And their staff, here's a hint at their staff. 3 attacks at range 2 inches, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, a rend of 1, and D3 damage. So they've got some abilities here. Spirit Storm, alright. Spirit Flash, so there's some of their special abilities if you want to take a look at that. And then here was a look at the video. We can play that through if you guys are wanting to, but I don't know how the audio is going to come through on there. Showing a little bit of the sense of humor of the Warhammer community, Warhammer TV team. They go through and then they do a quick teaser of a lot of the models that we just took a look at just now. So I'd like for you guys to comment below. Make sure you hit that like button to show your support for the channel. Make sure you comment that you want in on the Steel Phalanx. Whoop, over here. Let's get back on camera and get you guys going. But looking forward to making many more videos for you guys, and stay tuned.